All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I am okay today. Had a good weekend. It was absolutely perfect weather here in Ottawa, and I, it's one of those weekends where it's just so weird that for the last weekend of September to be so warm and comfortable. It was. You got my wife, in fact, saying that she said, "Where can we move in the world where it is this weather all the time?" So, and because it was just like 23 degrees Celsius. What is that? That's like 73, something like that. 74, I don't know, somewhere in the 70s.
That's nice. 74 is nice. 74 is real nice. That's not my type of weather, man.
It was just perfect. So I looked it up. Apparently, there's very few places in the world where the temperature is that all the time. So apparently I need to move to the Portuguese island of Madeira, which is off the coast of Africa, or Medellin, Colombia. So I told her at least I'll do an advanced tour of Medellin, and I'll let her know whether it's a place we want to live. But I'm going to say San Diego. I do like San Diego. I just don't want to live in California, to be honest. So but at least I wouldn't have to learn a new language. So I don't know. Anyways, for the meantime, I still live here.
That's for sure.
And winter is coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a problem in the chat room. Maybe we give it a second, Carlos.
I see that. Yep, I see that. There's some.
Sorry, I got to restart Firefox.
Okay, got it. All right, so we'll be right up in just a second, guys. So over on our members chat, but you can. You're probably gonna lose sound as well, like you did now. So you can't hear us, but YouTube should be perfectly fine. So good morning over on YouTube. We have our good buddies here. We have Eon on. We have Life Changing Value. That's always good. Shad is always on. Paul is on. Kevin E. Harris, my good friend, is always on here. Good morning to you. Andrew Keene, welcome. Dreamer, good to see you. And Nick also on YouTube. Yeah, so good to see you guys. Good morning. All right, we'll just give our tech team here. Oh, well, I say our tech team. We'll give Brent a couple of minutes to get our.
He is the tech team, I guess. So.
Yeah. He is a tech team. It was a one-man band. You lost sound on YouTube as well. Okay, that's not good. Is that correct? No, people are saying hi back to me on YouTube. Good morning, Professor Chaos. So just want to make sure YouTube is good. And all right, Nick is there. Yeah, so sound is good on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll wait for our chat. Absolutely. I got sound. Excellent.
It doesn't matter how much testing you do. Murphy's Law, right? Mm-hmm. You can do all this testing, which we did. We were talking before the show. Everything looked good. And then, wah. Things happen.
And we have not just been testing today. We've been testing for quite some time. I mean, Brent's been doing this for a couple of days now, making sure everything can go, and things happen.
Looks like we're back.
All right. Is it back? Honestly, I think it was just Firefox, like I had before. For whatever reason, it cuts the feed. So I just restarted it, and it works again.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, let's get to it. So,
I do want to say, if I could, Carlos, take a second. I wanted us to be back in the room. It's sort of an important day here in Canada. You may notice I'm wearing an orange shirt. It's known as Orange Shirt Day in Canada, formerly known as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It's a day when it's actually a day of mourning here in Canada. We recognize basically the atrocities committed against the Indigenous people of Canada. So that means the First Nations people, the Métis, and the Inuit here in Canada, where our governmental and official policies basically basically exercised a form of cultural genocide against all of our indigenous peoples, where we operated residential schools for a little over 113 years. Amazingly, with the last one only closing in 1996, where we forcibly took over 150,000 children out of the homes of our indigenous peoples and put them in these residential schools. And over 6,000 of those kids died with absolutely no explanation, were buried in sometimes mass but always unmarked graves. So it's really sort of a sad reminder of that we got to be careful about our policies and understand what we are doing. We all have a role in making sure our society is just and fair and recognizes the cultures of all the people who live and exist within our society. So this day is important. It's one that I feel strongly that we need to recognize, and I just wanted to mention it since it's again sort of a big day here in Canada. All right, on that somber note, let's get to the markets, because Carlos, as you're starting to say, I mean, there's a lot happening around the world. The big news, I think, globally is absolutely out of China. In China, they had a renaissance, if you will, in the stock market, with their stock market closing this Monday, of course, because they're already through their Monday day of trading. And they had a record day today. Biggest increase, 8.5% up in aggregate across all of their market indexes. The highest increase in the market since in the last 8 years, I think. They're the fear and greed index, also known as the volatility index, was the highest it's been since 2008. So they really had a big day. And this is all on the back of all of the government stimulus that was announced last week. So seeing a huge increase. Now we have to keep in mind that is maybe an outsized increase because they are going into 3 days of market closure and 4 days of national celebration as they celebrate the founding of the establishment of the People's Republic of China on October 1st, 1949. So it's sort of like, it's like Independence Day in the U.S. and Canada Day here in Canada. And they don't do 1 day, man. They're doing 3. So that's why I think the market sort of had that big bump. We also have to keep in mind that the woes in the Chinese economy haven't been fixed, right? I mean, it's great that they're throwing billions of dollars at increased support for businesses. They loosened what am I trying to say? Mortgage rates for individuals, right? The national banks have been told to reduce the actual mortgage rates on existing mortgages, let alone their interest rate. But they still have underlying problems. They still have a huge housing issue in China with the cost of housing. They have record youth unemployment. The economy is still stagnating. So as much as the market saw this record growth today, the underlying problems haven't yet been addressed. And it might be some interesting times if we're trading Chinese offerings here in the North American market. So I think generally, Carlos, I'm surprised not to see a lot of them on our gappers list this morning. A little bit odd there, but when I look at things like Baba, Baidu, Billy, PDD, JD, even the automakers in terms of LI, Nio, I mean, they're all up this morning, all up somewhere between 7 and 12%, depending on which ones you look at. Baba's probably the lowest, only up 5%. But big moves in China. So you can pretty much watch whatever you want in that market. Keep in mind, their markets are closed for the next 3 days. And, again, the growth has already happened in the Chinese market. So we're going to see a lot of move pre-market. I don't know what's going to happen during the market day in North America because, again, we're reacting to basically movement that's already happened in Shanghai and in Hong Kong. So we'll see where it goes. Oh, there you go. There's some of those on the gap up list. So anyways, China, certainly big news, and you can watch all those offerings. But again, the movement during the day today we might have already seen it pre-market, I guess what I'm trying to say. So
Yep. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, they're again controlling our entire gap up list this morning, and the gap down. If you look at it quickly, we do have some names there. I see Bitcoin's down between 4% and 3%. almost all the tickers. I think all these are Bitcoin related. BTDRD, MSTR, Clean Spark for sure, Mara for sure, Coin. Yeah, these are a
Yeah.
lot of these are all Bitcoin besides Nvidia and TSM. Very heavy on the Bitcoin side. So we'll see what's happening there. But yeah, let's start with our gap up list. We'll look at as we
Well,
mentioned, we've been talking about these Chinese tickers in. Go ahead, Peter.
I threw us all off because we should just mention what's happening on the economic calendar in North America. I was all excited about China, but there is an economic calendar in North America. It is pretty light. The key thing to note is that Powell is actually speaking today. Powell doesn't often get out there and do, sort of random speeches. I mean, this is not random, I guess. It's scheduled, but there's no expectation there's going to be anything new. But what people are going to be looking for is any hint as to what the Fed's going to do in forthcoming rate announcements. Everybody kept calling the ones that we just had in September as an outsized sort of decrease in the rate at 0.5%. However, it's my personal expectation that I think we're going to see similar rate decreases in forthcoming rate announcements. The next one being in November, because if we're going to get to their target rate, they've got to drop the interest rate a good almost 2%. Excuse me, 1.5% to 2% from where we are here, and that takes a lot of movement, right? So we'll see if Powell gives them any hint towards that. If they do, the market could do some funny stuff. If he avoids that altogether, then there may be no reaction. But that's at 1:55, so around 2 o'clock. Keep that in mind this afternoon. Other than that, we've got Bowman that's speaking at just before the market open at 8:50 today, and then the Chicago PMI that's coming out at 9:45. So neither one of those are huge impact items. We got a couple of bigger ones coming later this week, but yeah, again, if you're trading this afternoon, keep that 2 o'clock time in mind because the market could do some funny stuff. All right, so let's go back to the gapper. Sorry, Carlos, I'm throwing us all off this morning.
No. You're definitely taking the scenic route, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's much better this morning than the straight ahead one. So, but all good, my friend. We got plenty of time here. Again, our gappers list made up of mainly our Chinese tickers today. So I'm going to be looking at again Baba. It's been up pretty big over the last couple of days. They got 2.6 million shares traded. So they got tons of volume. I'll be looking at that one, and I'm going to be sticking also with PDD. So two that I've been kind of having front and center, but you can pick your favorites on the off this list actually. So PDD, great volume up 5.1, Baba up 5% as well, 2.6 million. But again, there's a ton here. As you mentioned, Peter, they're all here. Elite, JD is up 7%. XBEF, another 8%. I mean, it's a massive list of things you can pick. The one I will highly advise you to be careful with is Tao. Tao doesn't seem to be a legit company. I don't know what they do. They're 143,000 shares traded. Very, very low flow. Very questionable situation there. So just be careful on that, man. We had these. Remember, Peter, we had these tickers that had very low floats that ended up being nothing. Like there was no company behind it, right? And it's just they got halted forever and eventually got delisted. You just want to be careful, especially if you're like swing trading some of this
I
stuff. Day trading, you could be
yeah.
okay, but if you're swing trading some of this stuff, be careful. You're holding through some of that.
I mean,
Go ahead, Peter.
as far as I know, this is a real company. They operate a, private school education in China, but I don't know much about it. I mean, if you go to their website, it comes up all in Mandarin or something, and I can translate it to English, but yeah, they don't really cater to the North American market. So yeah, it's. But your warning is well taken, anyways. In terms of trading this, it can be tough. I mean, look at the price action. You don't have to look at a daily chart to say this is not a normal moving stock that makes it easy to intraday trade.
Yeah, and just a lack of volume. All right, so Baba and PDD on my list. Let's see anything else here that's not TCOM. TCOM is not this is strip.com. No, this is not
Yeah,
great. Baidu. Yeah, it's all Chinese guys. So that's gonna be my
I'll
two on
chime.
here. Peter, anything
Becky
else
is
capping
on the
up?
list. Yeah.
Yeah, the Becky's on here. MNSO, I'm not sure what this is, but it looks horrible, so I'm not going to be adding it to my list. I'm not sure if it's Chinese or not, but I don't like it either way. So yeah, roll the truck on that one. Off the gap up list, guys, going with Baba and PDD. Peter, anything else you like that maybe might not be showing gapping up on this list?
CVS might be one. CVS pharmacies out of the U.S. They've got some activist members on the board of directors are, well, it's a hedge fund that took a big position, Glenview Capital. And they have publicly now said that they are looking to try and make changes at CVS, which of course they think are going to be for the benefit of shareholders, which would mean stock appreciation. We're just under the volume needed to get on our list, which is why it's not there, but it's gapping up this morning 3% or so. This might be in play today. I don't know. I mean, Glenview's made its statement. I don't expect to hear any more out of them today. But whenever you get an activist investor on the board, it always, it always creates some turmoil, anyways, in a company. Hopefully, they can change it for the good, because CVS's stock has been languishing for quite a while here. If you go back on the daily, I mean, they were flying high during the pandemic, like a lot of things, but have really fallen off to almost 50% of the price that they were. So, and this is a pharmacy group, which they should, their business continues, right? I mean, no matter what the market economy, people are always need their pharmaceutical goods, and they're sort of one of those staple type businesses, I would think, in a lot of what they do. But stock price has not reflected that. So that's one, Carlos, I've got on the gap up that I was keeping an eye on. Other than that, yeah, that's you said pickings are light here on the gap upside, other than Chinese offerings. Everything China.
Yep. Now on the gap down, looks like everything Bitcoin, right? So we got two sectors here kind of taking control of our gap up and down list this morning. If we take a look here, BTR, MSRT, MicroStrategy, we have Clean Spark as well, another Bitcoin ticker. Mara and Coin are usually my two favorites I like to watch. I think they trade very well. They get great volume, and they can move nicely. Peter, overall, what's the news? Just Bitcoin dropping down over the weekend? We know usually over the weekends when we start getting some movement out of these.
Indeed, and it did. Bitcoin prices peaked at about 66,000, almost 67,000 on Friday, and then over the weekend, took a little bit of a tumble as we're sitting down at about 64,000. But no, it's not that far down. I mean, overall, it's still up if you look at just a week to date, and they're certainly up if you look at a month to date. So that being said, we're not in new territory. This is not to the moon type of Bitcoin movement overall. So I think we're just seeing a retracement on a lot of the crypto mining companies. As you say, they're all on the gap down list today. I don't know. I mean, I have not found a single good trade on them, despite having watched them during the climb over the last week. So I'm not that excited about the move down either.
Yeah, it could be hit or miss. I mean, I'm watching Mara. We do have 1 million shares traded here. We're down 4.2. So I'm gonna put. So do I put Mara on my main list? I'm gonna put Coin on my secondary list here. So we'll put on Coin, and then we'll see how those two play out. And then you got tons here we could look at this morning, and pick your favorites out of. All right, with that, towards the bottom of this list, there's some stuff that's not Bitcoin related, like Nvidia, right? So Nvidia's on here, TSM is on here. I don't know. What is this Applied Digital? Is that Bitcoin here, Peter, or is that something else? I'm not sure what that is. But uh, Nvidia and TSM, these two are down this morning quite a bit. And just look at Nvidia. Nvidia's been taking a hit over the last couple of days, really dropping here. I'm going to add to my list 7.6 million shares traded. So not doing so hot this morning. And then if we look at TSM, they had news last week and they got moving. And today they're down 2.5. Not much volume, but usually volume for this one will come in at the market open. So, but if you look at Friday's drop, this thing traded very, very clean. We don't see TSM trade this clean. All right, it's a Taiwanese a semiconductor company, so their intraday action is not as clean as it would be on a U.S. stock. But man, they did well Friday, so maybe I'll put them on my list today again, at least as a secondary to see if we can get some action out of it. But Peter, anything going on with Nvidia this morning?
I don't really see any news on Nvidia or TSM. I'm not sure why they're on the gap down list. I mean, the big news in the semiconductor space is SMCI. They've got their 10-for-1 split happening as of the open of the market tomorrow. So October 1st, they're going to be opening at about $40, or what, it depends on where we close today. But they might, tomorrow, I think they're going to be fun to watch. Today, probably not a lot of movement, but you never know. I mean, look at the big day that we had in trading on this, or the big movement, anyways, that happened on Thursday last week, where it had almost $100 range. So I think that we could certainly watch it anyways to see if it does anything interesting. But remember that 10-for-1 stock split happens as of the market open tomorrow. So this is your last day to trade SMCI in the 400s. It's going to be a $40 stock or thereabouts as of the open tomorrow. So I think that's interesting. Nvidia, as I said, yeah, I do see it. I mean, it's moving. There's no question there, but it's got its usual volume, right? A little over 7.5 million shares this morning, but I didn't see any news on it. So if you guys know of anything that's happening with it, the Chinese government urged Chinese companies to not use Nvidia chips. Okay, well there you go. That's reported by Oliver B in the chat room. So that could be a reason, anyways.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, we've seen this before, right? We've seen them do that with the iPhones, with this and that, and again, sometimes it causes some problems. Other times it doesn't. We'll have to see how it plays out. Friends, just a quick reminder. I know we're not there yet on announcements, but today is the last day. I want to let you guys know a couple of times today, so you don't say we didn't tell you so. This is the last day for the flash sale discount, right? We were ending this here on month end, so I wanted to make sure you guys are aware of it. 60% off the elite annual memberships, probably the best you're going to see in a long, long time. So we're not bringing that sale back. Today's the last day. If you're interested, make sure you sign up for that. It is a real deep discount here that you're getting for one of our best membership, right? So we'll take a look at that over on our website. All right. Hopping back over here, friends. So right now, Baba, PDD, Mara, and Nvidia on our list so far. And if we continue to look at our gap up, it's just a gap down, made up of a lot of Bitcoin plays here. So we're gonna leave those alone. So again, a lot on the list, but not really a lot of sectors that we're watching. And someone over on YouTube mentioned Becky and Billy. Absolutely, these guys are in play today. Pick your favorite. I know Becky can trade well at times. I have Baba, I have PD. I don't want to have everything Chinese. I think a lot of this is going to move together depending on how they do here. Again, over the last couple of days, it's just been crushing it. But yeah, pick your favorite, right? Whether Billy, Becky, XPF, Futu's on here. I mean, just pick your favorite out of these. I usually like to see these two because they tend to have more volume. Peter, on the gap down, do you have anything you like this morning?
Well, I mean, we did mention Nvidia. I do think I'm just reading the news on it. Actually, it's a little more compelling than I thought it would be. Yeah, Beijing apparently and the Chinese government had strongly advised. What was the wording that they used? That they have strongly discouraged companies from using Nvidia's chips. And as a result, the Chinese market we know was up, but the chip sector in the Chinese market was up double. So 8.5% was the overall increase in the market, up over 20% on Chinese-based chip manufacturers, including Cambricon, Huawei, and something. And it was a whole bunch of Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp. Very generic name there. But anyways, all of those on the Chinese market were up over 20%. So yeah, I think Nvidia, that might be a drag on Nvidia as they, lose some share in market. As like in North America, if the government says we strongly advise, the price will probably not react, because strongly advising means nothing unless there's also sanctions or restrictions behind it. When the Chinese government strongly advises, they tend to carry a heavier stick. So yeah,
like Boeing. It's like when Boeing strongly advises, you better be careful.
Like, they may unalive you, as people like to say.
Yeah, you might find yourself unalive somewhere.
Unalived, yeah.
Be careful.
Is that just a trading thing? I was with some friends the other day, and we were talking about that. I said I was joking about someone being unalived. And they everybody gave me a blank look, and I'm like, isn't that like a thing? It's the joke about what Boeing is doing to people, and nobody had ever heard of this. So maybe it's just a trading thing. I don't know.
It could be just an us thing. I think, yeah. Not even trading, man. I think it's just somebody here in the chat created this, and we just ran with it. All right, friends. Let's see here.
Apparently, that's how you have to say it in social media, so you didn't get banned. I guess because they took the keywords, right? So you could say unaliving, and it wouldn't
Oh,
catch that. Yeah, there you go. Okay,
okay,
there,
okay.
there you go.
That
See,
explains
there
that.
is a good reason behind it.
There's always a reason to everything. There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I was typing to someone on Reddit, and I wrote the word "damn" and it got blocked. I'm like, really? Do you guys watch TV in the '90s? I mean, the stuff that was said there was, this is child's play compared to. So yeah, it was blocked right away. It was Facebook or something. I forgot which one it was, but it blocked it right away. I'm like, geez, okay, let's move on to something else. All
Okay.
right, friends. Let's head over to our chat. What do you guys like this morning? What do you guys like this morning? Let's take a look here. Looking at some tickers so far. Good morning to all you guys. All I see is good mornings right now. So no tickers on. Peter, did you cover anything on the gap down or no? That you like? Did
I
we
mean,
talk about
I
that?
mentioned Nvidia. That was about it. I see somebody mentioning
Yeah.
Apple. I don't.
Okay, here we go.
I didn't see anything particularly special at Apple. I mean, Apple's always got its little bit of news. I haven't seen. I'm waiting for the next release of the iPhone 16 sales. Have you bought yours yet, Carlos?
I have not. And me and my wife were like, yeah, we're gonna
They
get it, but nobody's doing anything about it. Like
they
we both said
they
we
need
want
you.
it, and we just yeah, we just haven't moved to actually go to the website and purchase the thing. I tried doing it when they first announced it, and then I had to wait till Friday to do it. I couldn't even pre-order. I'm like, whatever. Pre-order starts on Friday. I just never went back to the website since. So, again, mine is working. I really want it because it's pretty banged up on the
Well,
back side, but you know they're waiting for me. I
I
guess.
mean,
How many other people are
there was
sitting
little
like
bits
that?
of news. I always feel like in Apple, there's always random little bits of news that they've got Tata Electronics had a fire in one of their plants in southern India that manufactures iPhone components, and they're going to be suspend production indefinitely while they deal with the after effects of that fire. Again, everybody's waiting for the iPhone 16 sales. A lot of speculation, but I haven't seen any actual data about what the sales are doing after the initial report out of Apple that they were disappointing, but I don't think they ever quantified what disappointing meant. Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, Apple, I guess, could be in play. It's been pretty boring actually. The last let me just look at the daily chart. Last week and a half, it really has done absolutely nothing. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect. I mean, it is at 230, I guess, and if it holds here and goes higher, it is in sort of record high territory. Not all time high territory, but in an area that hasn't traded in much. So that may bring some new interest. I do see Derp mentioning CCL. I was going to mention that at the end. CCL, we're waiting for earnings on that. They take the weird step of releasing their earnings at 9:15 a.m. Not a normal time for earnings release in the morning, but keep in mind there's two tickers that you can trade here on Carnival: CCL and CUK. CCL is definitely the one you want to trade if you run across both of them. It definitely gets a lot more volume than the CUK offering. So, but yeah, waiting for earnings on that. I don't know what to expect. I mean, they kept saying that demand was up and travel was good, but the proof will be in the numbers when they come out in about 20 minutes here.
Yeah, we'll see how that looks. All right, so I added Nvidia. I have Apple on my list. What else, friends? You guys like this morning? CCL we looked at. Oh, on our YouTube chat, I see Tesla being mentioned heavily. And again, these guys have been strong over the last couple of days. Hold on, let me get the bottom charts to look right. There it is. Strong over the last couple of days, and leading up to the robo taxi presentation. And Peter, I'm sorry, I know you mentioned this
Robotaxi.
before. What is their the date that's happening? I know it's in
October
October.
10th.
October 10th. Okay, so we're
10th.
about 2 weeks
October 10th.
away from that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to something funny happening like they did with the Cybertruck. You remember that? To the rock and it broke
You
the
want Elon
window.
to dance again, or to?
I wanted to do something weird like that, but it worked. I see Tesla
Oh,
Cybertrucks everywhere. They're all over the place here. So it works somehow. All right, so I'll
okay.
add Tesla. This always could be fun. I have way too many. Baba, BDD, Mara, Nvidia, Apple, and Tesla. I think that's it. I can't add no more to my list. It'll also be too long. But I will take a look at anything you're mentioning here. Andrew, you have PLTR and JD. PLTR has been in play here with this stretch, beginning of September. Since then, has gone sideways. It looks like it wants to lose this level at 36.54, but it finds a ways to hold it. So again, intraday trading has not been all that great. We had some really nice days here, and obviously this stretch here, but we're back to some really tight ranges. And again, PLTR doesn't move much. So like this move here, this is a 50 cents or less move, right? So it's not a big mover for the price. There's better things to look at sometimes. They'll get great volume, but again, it's just not ideal. All right, so what else, friends? I think that kind of covers it. So yeah, let's stop here. I have a pretty good list for this Monday. So again, not a blockbuster type list, but we got some stuff to look at today from gapping up and down. Peter, take us through what's happening this week, starting with tonight, this beautiful Monday morning.
You bet. I will do that. I'll make one last comment on the Tesla. I was looking up the event because Carlos, you said you want to see something fun. We might actually get something fun out of this robo-taxi event October 10th because apparently it's happening at the Warner Brothers studio lot. So they've rented out the studio lot to launch this event, presumably so that they can drive the robo-taxi around on their streets, right? Because they're not allowed on the streets of California, at least that I'm aware of. They haven't been approved. But maybe they'll take advantage of the studio lot to do something splashy and interesting, and you'll get your soundbite out of that you're looking for. So I just please can Elon enter the event coming down a zip line upside down? That's what I want to see.
Nice.
That would entertain me. So there you go. You heard it here, Elon. That's what I'm requesting. You're on the lot. I know they've got zip lines all over that place. That's how I want you to enter the event. Upside down on a zip line. There you go. There.
Either that or like have the robotaxi pick up Mark Zuckerberg, right? That would be fun. And have Mark Zuckerberg with his glasses walk in the taxi cab, ordering his whatever they're gonna Uber or whatever. That would be fun. That would be nice. That'd be surprising. All right.
When robotaxis
let's get to what's happening.
Wouldn't it be like yeah, it's more likely to run them over than. Anyways, all right. Enough of that. Okay, let's talk about what's happening in the community this week. As you said, Carlos, lots of stuff going on. We start today with our onboarding classes. We've got two. We've got the DAS training session that's led by Brendan. Brendan's going to be hosting that at noon today. All are invited. Everybody who's a member, no matter your level of membership, you can join in the classroom or the onboarding room for that. So again, that's at noon. And then Carlos takes over at 8 p.m. tonight, once again in the onboarding room. That will give you an introduction to all you can get out of the Bear Bull trading community, and hopefully you take full advantage of that as well. Whether you're new or just want a refresher on all that we have to offer, it's a great place to go. On Tuesday, we're looking forward to Tuesday because it is October, and Jared's going to be leading us off with the very first webinar of October 2024 with his session on how you can utilize Spot Gamma to improve your trading. So as you know, our friends and partner at Spot Gamma has been they've launched a new tool. They've been here demonstrating to our members all that they offer and how it can benefit. And I know that Jared, of course, has been using it as it helps him out understand the markets with a greater context, and he's going to share some of his learnings with you. That's on Tuesday at 8 p.m. And then the next week, Tuesday, October 8th, once again at 8 p.m., usual time, Thor is going to talk about futures and how he leverages the futures for his trading. He trades both futures and equities. He's going to talk about how he merges those and why he decided to focus on futures for a lot of his trades. So that should be a good session as well, a week from tomorrow. Wednesday, we talk psychology, and this coming Wednesday, October the 2nd, is no exception. We're going to have a great session on October the 2nd, focusing on the thing that might be missing in your trading that you can focus on to improve your psychology. Dr. Kenneth Reed is going to be leading that session. He's going to be building on some of his previous webinars and tell you how you can maybe focus on one thing to drive improvement. So that will be coming up at 8 o'clock this coming Wednesday, October 2nd. And then a week from that, on October the 9th, Wesley Altman is going to be taking over, talking about his journey to mental resilience and how you can build your own successful journey to create better resilience in your mental trading game. Let's not forget on Wednesdays, we also have a Bookmap webinar. So we've got a number of tools that different people use. Bookmap is one that people have been focusing on for the last, I don't know, year or so. And Nathan's decided to put on a session for that every Wednesday at noon, where he's going to help lead you through Bookmap, tell you how it functions, and give you some indication as to whether it might be the right tool for you. And if you've already got it, how you can get the most out of it. So that's our Bookmap webinar also happening on Wednesdays. Thursday is focused on mentorship sessions. We have 4 for you every Thursday, starting with John Hiltz, who's going to be doing his at 11 a.m. Jared and Megan take over talking about options at 2. Then we're back to equities with Lenny at 4. And then Thor closes out the day with his Thursday mentorship session at 8 p.m. So hopefully you will put one or all of those on your calendar, and then you can get all the mentorship you can handle on Thursdays here at the Bear Bull Trading Community. With that, we hope that you will visit that community. We have a number of sales going on for you right now. If you go to bearbulltraders.com, you can find all of the different options that we've got for you. We've got our flash sale, which is on the Elite membership. That gives you 60% off. Great price on the Elite annual. Not listed here, but we do have our Diamond membership, which also gives you access to that $50,000 funded trading account. If you're subscribed to our newsletters, you would have heard about that over the weekend. If you didn't, well, then you don't have that news. So I recommend you get that newsletter, which you can also get at our website. And of course, the intro offer, which is $39, it's a 1-week access, gives you access to the onboarding classes, those 2 I mentioned that are happening today, as well as unlimited access to the chat room for a week. That's for you for only $1. If you're hearing me right now, then you can get it for $1. Go to bearbulltraders.com/YouTube. And you can get that $1 offer. So take advantage of one or more of those offers. It's some great deals out there. All right. So I encourage you to do that. I also encourage you to go to tradingterminal.com. If you want news on the markets, it's designed to be a one-stop trading resource for all active traders. And that's where I'm getting my news this morning. It's where we're getting the economic events and the calendar of activities. Earnings season is coming up. You're going to want to stay tuned for all the earnings that are happening. Look, we got earnings coming up in 9 minutes with Carnival Cruise Lines. So, you're going to want to start paying attention closer to that, as well as, of course, all the scanners and the simulator, the replay mode, all that stuff you can get out of tradingterminal.com. So check it out at your leisure. Let's go set some levels with Carlos, and then I will let you know what our moderators are watching. Moderators, get your lists in so that we can get them up there and we can let everybody know what you are watching as we head into this last trading day of September, heading into a new month tomorrow. It's exciting stuff here. Can't wait for trading this week. It should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm with you, Peter. Should be fun. In September, I think I was hearing reports about September usually, right? Obviously, we know it's one of the slowest months of the year. This one, not so much. We hit a lot of record-breaking stuff, right? Obviously, the rate cuts helped a lot with that. So we had some really, really good trading for September. We cannot complain at all, right? So going into October,
Yeah,
things
it
should
wasn't
pick up
easy.
even more. It wasn't easy, right? But it wasn't. I mean, we
It wasn't
seen
easy.
bad. We seen bad
Yeah.
September trading. I mean, like that. Like we would come in and say we should have just stayed in bed, right? But we saw that maybe 1 or 2 days, but not a lot, not a lot. But you're right, it was not easy. Certain days. All right, right now over on YouTube, we're sitting at 109 likes. We'd love to be at a 200, 300. That's usually our goal before Peter and I come off the show. Once we come off, if we get 300, we've done our job. But if you can help us get to that, that'd be great. We'll keep coming back to you guys every single day the market is open live here. And we enjoy it too, right? We don't do this just for the likes. We actually enjoy preparing with you guys every morning, getting our stocks ready, our watch list, and just kind of um, uh, learning, but having fun at the same time. So hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. All right. So my list this morning, we have Baba, we have PDD, Mara, Nvidia, Apple, and Tesla. I mean, I have a lot. I'm going to try to go through all of these and get some levels set, and then we will see what our team is watching. Starting with Baba this morning, again, just continues to trade really, really good here as far as the daily. But to be honest, intraday, it has not been great, right? So we've been getting all the actions happening after hours when we're not, the market's not open, obviously, given where the news is coming from. But we haven't been getting great intraday plays, so it has not been all that good as far as intraday. High, as far as today, high of the pre-market 114.15, and then towards the bottom 111. 111 is going to be the low of the pre-market there, and then below that low of the pre-market, you see from the last two trading days, Thursday and Friday, you do have your highs and lows and the previous day close on there. So you're pretty much set on BAWA. If we go to the left here, I know we're not at all-time highs. I know we've been higher. Maybe
Yeah.
we are now. I thought we were. Okay, here
No,
we go.
no, we
We're
were
getting
higher.
close though. Yeah, are we getting close? Oh no, this is 250. Yeah, this thing's been up there. All right. 52-week high for sure though. So it looks like 52-week high at least. Yes, 52-week high at least looks like. Actually no, I stand corrected. It looks like in January. This piece is still in January here. 2023. So not there yet, but very close. All right, if we look at that, we do have some
But
levels here.
we're in
Big one is
2020.
going to be. Say that again.
We're in 2024
Sorry,
though.
Peter.
We're in
Yeah, so 52-week
2024.
high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so
were right the
52-week
first time.
high will be. Yeah. So 52-week high is not
The
there
years
yet.
just keep
No, we are
on
not.
going, eh?
No, we're not there yet because it'll have to be. No, it's not 52-week yet. No, not yet. Because we'll have to get into February for
September
it to be
September
52-week high.
2023, right? Would have been a year ago,
Yeah.
which
Exactly right.
we're
So that
definitely
we
higher.
have January 2020. Oh, my bad. I'm looking at this wrong. Wow, I'm looking at it so wrong. Yes, you are right. I was right the first time. Thank you, Peter, for correcting me in the right direction. Absolutely, my friend. Yes, I am right.
You're getting there.
All right. So yeah, I'm good. 116.62 is the high there, and then we have all the way up here. We're looking at 121.10 over on BABA. So once you do that, guys, you're pretty much set as far as levels go. Let's look at PDD. Good volume this morning. Again, another one that's intraday has been rough. Day looks great. I keep putting them on here, expecting something to happen, but we're not getting great intraday action on these. So we'll see. 144.86 is good. Towards the bottom, we got a nice level on the pre-market low at 140.61, which is a little bit lower right over here. So yeah, there it is. So we'll mark that there. And then same as Bob, but towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last two trading days are doing a really good job there. So definitely looking good. Do not need to add anything else on PDD towards the bottom. And then towards the top here, we're looking at a 150.33. I think it's the best level you have. You might have, yeah, actually you do. 148.09. It's another great level in here on PDD this morning. So again, closing out the quarter, really nice here for the Chinese tickers, just straight crushing it. We'll see how they play out today as we do our last day of the quarter now. All right, Mara, Bitcoin's the other one that's kind of controlling the entire gap down list this morning. So I have Mara and I have Coin on my secondary. If we look at Mara here, surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days, right? So you see here the last two trading days, you have the highs and lows, previous day close, doing a really good job, especially towards the top. I'm just going to mark down the high of the pre-market. And once you do that, you're set at least above the price action. Towards the bottom, we'll mark down the low of the pre-market at 116.40. Again, these levels if you're wondering why we marked the low and the high of the pre-market, we got plenty of videos on YouTube and also in our education center talking about why these levels are so important with some great examples how we use them as support and resistance. The same thing with these daily levels, right? And if you want bigger time frames, I know Megan has a great video on how she does her levels. She uses bigger time frames like weekly levels and stuff like that. So take a look at her video. I refer to her as the best from the West over there in our community. 1594, another great level below the low of the pre-market there. And once you do that, I think you're pretty set on Mara. Do not need to add anything else. Again, pick your favorite Bitcoin ticker this morning, your favorite Chinese ticker, and I think you'll be in good shape here. Nvidia dropping nicely, 117.74 is the low of the pre-market. I'm going to mark down the high of the pre-market over at 120.80, and then that covers you for above the price highs and lows for the last two trading days, previous day close. Seeing a lot of weakness lately, especially in the last 2 days, as you're seeing here. Towards the bottom, from the low of the pre-market, you're seeing another great level, great daily support here at 115, 115.52. So you can see great support there. You're going to mark that down, and in case we really get going here, we decide to highway to hell for a second. 113.32 could be another great level as well. All right, I have a lot of tickers. I still got two more, guys. So here's Apple. Apple's going to be easy. Highs and lows for the last two trading days towards the bottom there. Previous day close. I mean, you just got plenty of levels. Let's zoom out here on the daily a little more. right? We ran up really nice here, this little sudden rejection there, right? And then just sideways action. And then we just kind of build this range. It's kind of stuck in this range. Trying to break out of that this morning, showing a little bit of strength. I have the pre-market 230.55. And then our recent high is that 232.92, right? We slammed inside a couple of times. Not our all-time highs. That is set over here. But this area has proven to be a little bit of resistance over the last couple of weeks. So we'll mark that there. Once you do that, guys, you're pretty much set. Again, tons of levels since we've been moving sideways here on Apple. We got plenty of levels here that we can use for support and resistance. Taking a look at Tesla here this morning. Again, they've been really strong over the last couple of week or two, maybe three, just kind of crushing it higher. But today they're showing some weakness. They're down almost 0.75% here. 1.8 million shares traded. So we got tons of volume this morning. First the bottom, 258.03 is the low of the pre-market. The high of the pre-market is pretty much slightly above the high of the last two trading days, right? So right in here is your high of the last two trading days. This continues to be an area of resistance for the last two trading days, Thursday and Friday, and we're struggling to get above that today as well. So as we mentioned before, they got their. I'm looking forward to their Robo Taxi event on October 10th, and we'll see how that plays out, leading to that event. So right now, tons of volume, looking good. I definitely want to have that on the list this morning. So there you have it, friends. That is our list right now that I like. Let's take a look at our moderators list over in our chat and see what's going on there.
Well, we've got some of our moderators getting their list in already. Lenny is going to start with MU, Nvidia, Apple, CVS, Baba, Nio, and CCL. Nio has been moving the last little while. CVS is dropping right now as earnings have just come out, and it looks like they're not happy. At least the stock is not happy as it's making a big move down. Mike is going to be focusing on Baba and Nvidia. Phil, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, and Baba. Jared's just going to look at the China stocks and see if there's a profit taking he can take advantage of. Thor is going to be focusing on Apple, Nvidia, Baba, and the SPY, or his futures, really. Pierre is going to be watching PDD, Nvidia, Tesla, and Apple. There are no IPOs or SPACs today. Not a surprise. It's a Monday, and that's what we expect on Mondays. I'm going to be watching AMD, Tesla, and Nvidia. Keep an eye on Baba, PDD, and CCL, as I said, dropping right now as earnings have just come out a second ago. Megan's going to be watching the semis and Nvidia and Micron. She's also watching Amazon and Apple. Eamon's just going to be keeping an eye on the scanners. Didn't have anything specific he's targeted. And then Avi's going to be watching Tesla, Nvidia, and AMD. We hope Avi's feeling better. He's been having a rough go of it, man. He was taken down, we think, by some COVID-related illness. And yeah, definitely. I could even tell in his texting that he was just not feeling it. So hopefully you're feeling better, Avi. Brian's going to be watching Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, Nio, and, of course, Apple. There we go. That's our list for this morning with our moderators that have submitted so far. We got some live trading coming up for you soon, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I'm watching a CCL here. Like we said, weird time for earnings. Normally 9:15 is not when these companies announce, but CCL has been doing that for a while. So as you can see, they gapped down quite heavily, made a little bit of a rebound right now. So we'll see if they can get back into the green. But I haven't actually seen. Oh, stop it! Oh, I hate it when that happens. Sorry.
Did you go long CCL? That's a good thing right now.
I got one of those spam things that came out. You know how they go to full screen mode, and then you're like, "Oh no, my computer's infected." Yeah. Anyways, all right, we're out of that. See what I'm doing? Checking bad news areas. Okay, so. I mean, it looks like it was good earnings, by the way. As far as I can tell, early report is that they beat their quarter and raised the full year guidance. So that seems like good news. The stock is not reflecting that, however. I got to wait for the formal news to come out. So we'll see what that says. Oh, here we go. Now we're going green. Anyways, CCL could be interesting in play. I'm definitely put it on my list. So we'll see what happens with it.
All right, awesome. All right, friends, that is it for us. Baba, PDD, Mara, and Nvidia, Apple, and Tesla, and we have CCL doing some action. I'm going to add that one to my secondary list just to see how that plays out. We're starting to get some volume here at 1.8 and looking to break out from the recent highs this morning. So, Peter, who's trading live with us today? We have Brian and who's on deck?
That's what I was trying to find out. I kept getting distracted with the news here, so I don't remember.
Okay.
Don't
Oh,
remember.
good, man. And we know
So
someone. Someone will be on. We don't
I
know who,
know
but
it's
they'll be
someone.
on.
I know I set a
Yeah,
schedule
yeah.
before. I'm just trying to remember. Did my schedule extend it to this week? Because Andrew thought he was going to be back by now, but with the bad weather he's experienced at Choyo, he hasn't been able to get to the top. So he might have to extend his stay there, which means I don't anticipate he's going to be trading live today. And let's face it, if I haven't named anyone and no one else is available, then it'll be me. But otherwise, maybe Thor could jump in or somebody. Always welcome. I'm not usually that exciting of an open trader because I trade later in the day. That's when I find my strategies and my thought process works best. So, but we'll one way or the
Yeah,
other,
yeah.
we'll have live trading for you.
Absolutely. Wait to see when Brian comes on here and see what he's watching this morning. Where's I think I lost the chat for a second. Oh, here it is. I got the chat now. All right, yeah. So we got Brian's list, right? He's got some stuff on there. Looks good. He has Neo on his list, which Neo's a
Oh, there you
good
go.
buddy of mine, man. Neo was a lot of fun. We got great memories with Neo. I might have to add this to my list. Even Melanie over on YouTube was saying today could be a Neo day. Yeah, let's add Neo because it is breaking out pretty nice, up 18% right now to 22 million shares traded. So again, got to be careful with it. It can be very algo trading. Peter, you pointed this out before in that 1 minute. You know how algo it looks like, so you got to be careful that you're not stuck trading against the computers by yourself, right? That's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean Neo is one that it sometimes gives you the little hint. It teases you, makes you think that it's going to be a good trader, and then it quickly retreats back into just having the computers trade against each other, which again is not a place you want to be. So, CCL is one like that too, right? Where it's like it has to keep that momentum very active, or it quickly sort of regresses to a bad trading zone. So we'll see what happens on CCL. It's up now. Started down. It's gapping up.
yeah,
So let's see where it goes
I
when we
see a
get to the
good
open.
Brian.
Volume. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Volume is
Volume's fairly low, actually. Only 2.3 million shares here. I was expecting more as it hit that late earnings, but we'll see what happens. Again, opening bell. It is a NYSE stock. Keep that in mind. New York Stock Exchange stocks, which means you're not going to get the deep pockets bothering to trade until that opening bell rings.
Yeah. Yep. There it is, Brian. Brian has to sign off today. I notice he doesn't have the Bear Bush sign clicked on, so it's a quiet day,
Yeah.
or what does that
What's
mean?
happening?
Something, Brian? So we take that as a selling sign. It's about to plug that in for us. What we should get a sound like the
Is this
like
Brian? Is
that
this where
buzzing
I can do
sound.
like Brian? Turn on the red light. Sorry.
I'm all ready to go.
Bad. It's a
We're
bad Sting song.
Excellent.
Sorry, Ira.
we're going with the Penguins this morning.
Oh, I see. Oh, frisky Animal Series, Penguin edition.
The Frisky Penguins. We're going with that.
Brian, don't get us
All
banned
right.
on YouTube.
Come on. YouTube loves this stuff.
Yes, YouTube loves this stuff. Okay.
All right, friends.
Well,
I will
good
let you
morning.
guys to it. I'm gonna hop off. Have a great trading day, guys, and over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Let's quick check before I hand it off. We are sitting at what do we have here? 186 with almost 600 watching. Yeah, we're not even halfway, so we could do better than that. I know you guys can do that. So help us there, guys. Really love your support. If you can give us a thumbs up, really appreciate it. Take care, guys. Stay safe, and I'll leave you with Brian and Peter for now, at least. We'll talk in a bit.
Indeed. All right.
Good morning. Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, I don't
As I
know.
said,
Don't know what's going on with CCL. As you said, it's an NYSE stock. It did run up quite a bit from the beginning of August. So maybe from a sort of a $14 level. So maybe this $19 level where we've found resistance a number of times going back to July. most recently last week in September. Maybe this is just sort of all baked in. So that's all I can think.
Yeah, could be. I mean, I haven't seen confirmed reports of what their earnings actually were, so it could just be that, like you said, it wasn't enough to get past the increase that's already been baked into the price. How is it done compared to? Well, actually, all of the cruise lines are up over the last month. So, yeah, they're all doing okay. Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, CCL. Okay, well, we'll see.
So I have some UVXY. So today is kind of an oddball day. I guess there's this JPM has this massive call butterfly, and I shouldn't say call butterfly, just a butterfly, I understand. And they're going to probably be. I think this is the day they liquidate it, and then they're probably going to roll it up. Yeah, it's a caller. Thank you, Jared. So I guess they're going to go from sort of a positive gamma, and then they're going to be rolling those up because they're part of a strategy, I believe, of their one of their ETFs. So they'll be rolling those out to December, and the gammas on those will be probably a lot less positive and probably negative. So it should lead to a little bit more volatility, which is a good thing for UVXY because that's what that ETF is. And also probably going to get some more volatility as we get closer to the election. Can kind of see that happening as well. So what have we got here? Oh, I should share. Let me share book map here. Show you what I'm looking at.
That would be great.
Yeah, this is.
Everybody loves the map of the book.
Yeah, this is Tesla. You can see here we've got a big order at 258, which isn't far from where we are right now. Probably going to drop down, fill that. We've got an order at 259. Smaller size. Nvidia. This looks maybe a little bullish. It's got some orders up here. AMD is kind of messy. As Peter pointed out, Nio's NYSE stock, so hard to trust those.
They just can't be trusted.
They just can't be trusted. Apple's another one I'm looking at. Their book is pretty gone pretty empty here. There is an order down here. Apple is trading right at the top end of the trading range here. So what else?
Did you look at Tesla? How's Tesla looking? You did that already?
This one wasn't looking that great. This is Tesla. Tesla's got an order at 259 right now. It came back up off this level here. Baba had some orders to fill down here. You can see they filled them, and now the books really kind of. There's some more orders down here, so maybe good short. CVD is pretty red, so that means there's been a lot of selling. Yeah, so anyway, AMD looks like it's on the verge of kind of breaking out here. Let's take a look. What is AMD? AMD's got an order at 163.40. Let's just see where things go. I don't know.
It's a minute to the open.
There isn't a lot of there aren't a lot of orders above. There's 165 here on AMD. These orders will really thicken up once we start. A lot of traders will start entering orders once we hit the open. So this book will change significantly as soon as we get going here.
Careful, CCL, if you're watching it or looking to trade it at the open. The volume might not come in right at 9:30. Remember, NYSE stock, that volume might take a minute or two. You'll know when it hits. You'll see it. Just watch. And I'm going to watch Nvidia, see what it does here at the open. We've got about 12 seconds.
Kind of liking Baba for a short here.
Baba short. Oh, yeah. Well, Chinese market, though, is strong. 2, 1.
I know.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Nvidia's getting a pop.
Not much happening yet. Not much happening yet.
Ooh, a bunch of topside orders on Nvidia. It's getting a little push.
Yeah, AMD's looking like it's pushing. Try a short on Baba here at 160, 1167. Here we go. It's going to drop a bit here. Maybe we're going to hit 111. That would be good. Baba has not been an easy trader, so I'm not. Let's just see what happens here.
Tesla's getting a pop up here too.
Yeah. AMD failed. Just going to cover some Baba at 111.18.
There you go.
There we go. It's going to cover some more as we lose 110 here, or 111, I should say.
Wow, Tesla's about to go green.
Yeah, it did go green. There you go. AMD's popping. Look at that. I knew the markets were going to pop as soon as we opened. Look at that. The Qs are going green. Okay, I'm out of Baba. I don't like the way it trades. So that was okay. I got some profit on that. Yeah, it could go higher here. Let's move on. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia really ripped to the upside. Took out a lot of orders that were sitting up there. There's some big orders at 119.80, 120, 120.20.
Haven't heard people yelling about Nio in quite a while. Look at that, Nio.
What's Neo's drop? Is Nio dropping a bit or?
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. It doesn't look that exciting to me, to be honest. But
no. AMD's dropping a bit now. I'm just I'm going to try a little bit of a long, just small size on Nvidia at 119.45. See if we can push to up into this 120 area. Doesn't look very promising, unfortunately. Like I said, kept my size small, so
It doesn't look. I guess so, Mr. T.
What's going on?
Mr. T says we have a different reference for what's exciting on Nio. So, hey, if you love it,
Okay.
if that big old 20-cent move is juicing you up, then you go for it. It's all yours. You won't see me getting in the way. I just don't like the way Nio moves generally.
Yeah, this NYSE stocks can be challenging.
Yeah.
Okay, we get a new high here on Nvidia. There we go. That's what we want to see.
CVS dropped. That's a little predictable.
AMD is really dropping. That's interesting. AMD's been pretty choppy lately.
AMD's back to the pre-market levels. So.
All right, I'm going to take a bit of profit here on Nvidia. 119.90. It's rock and roll, baby. Let's go. Let's get to 120. It's a big order there. Okay, so right now my stops at break even on Nvidia, and we'll just look for 120 here. Doesn't look like there certainly isn't a lot of enthusiastic buying. You can see by these if you're looking at Bookmap, you can see by these bubbles here the sort of the volume, the buying and selling volume. I mean, here we got a nice big volume bar at the open, or a big volume bubble at the open, but you can see all these bubbles very, very small. So we're not getting a lot of enthusiastic buying, and we're not getting a lot of enthusiastic selling either. Here we go, 120. Yeah, there we go. Sell some
Wow, punched through that nicely.
Yeah, and now we got some orders at 120.50 and 121. See, even that volume bar isn't really that big, but
no.
And the Qs are breaking out. AMD come in bouncing back, high of day. Apple had a nice little spike at the open.
Did. Consolidating
so
right now.
Nvidia, we might actually see Nvidia go. See if Nvidia can go green here. There's nothing keeping this market down.
2140 was the close on Friday, so CCL bouncing back, Carnival Cruise Lines, Neo's still dropping a little bit.
I kind of feel like the Chinese stocks are just way overbought. If you look at the daily charts, I mean, they're just really overbought here. So we're now we're looking for a move through some of these other areas of liquidity. 120, 121, 122 on Nvidia. 121, 122 is an R3 level on a Camarilla pivot. What have we got for? We've got another 90 cents to go. So 121.50. This is why I think you see this big, there's a big order right here. This is PDC, which is where people are positioning for a pullback at the very least, or some resistance. There will be some resistance right at PDC there. Mark my words.
Well, we'll see. Let's see what happens with Nvidia. It's certainly consolidating here. It's got a good chance to move higher. I'm not seeing a lot of downside orders on the level 2, so
no.
Baba is back down here at the low of day. See what it does around 110 here. Happens to be our 4 level as well. Here we go. Nvidia pushing a little bit higher. Hit 121 exactly, but did not break through it. There you go. Now it's through.
Here we go. All right, I'm just selling the rest of this.
Getting out here, eh?
Yeah, I just feel like we're getting up to PDC. I think we're gonna pull back here. Might be an opportunity to get in if we get a pullback to get back in. Tesla's AMD is actually at PDC right now. I mean, I had a decent run up, so I'm not unhappy with that trade either. Oh, Baba is selling off here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just nice. Jared got a nice move on that.
Now we're seeing some orders on the downside.
50, but look at that, eh? Pretty much top tick that. That was not to say it's not going to consolidate a bit and go higher, but this is kind of for Nvidia. This is an important level. We don't want to sort of drop much down below this prior low here, which was around 120.50. So we may bounce here. There's a level right there. Tesla's still moving up. When Tesla's got, is it? I'm trying to remember. Is it tomorrow that Tesla has their Q3 numbers on their deliveries?
I don't know. I've been just on Tesla. I've just been looking to the Robo Taxi event, which is coming out on the 10th.
Yeah, that's on the 10th.
That's on the 10th. Yeah, so we still have almost 2 weeks, week and a half. When do their deliveries come out? I can tell you here. Delivery numbers are due. Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew it was it was the first thing coming up on their sort of agenda calendar of things coming up.
Yeah. Third quarter delivery figures expected out Wednesday. So they're expected to be good. I mean, not exceptional, but decent. So we'll see if that plays out.
It's interesting. try a long here on Nvidia again at 120.50. See what
D's gone green.
Yeah, look at that, eh? So I'm long Nvidia again, 120.50. See if we can get another move back up here. There is an order there, 121 again. It's kind of building.
Here you go. You're getting a little bit of a push.
Yeah, here we go. Diddly doodly. I'll sell some at 120.86. Just because.
Why not?
Why not? Just lock in some of that gain that we just got. Again, I'll move my stop to break even. And we'll look through for this continuation move. Here we go.
There you go, through 121 again.
Yep. Selling some more, 121.02.
Nice.
Yeah, I like
see
that.
If you can get that
was
pop
nice
through here.
See here, the reason I took this trade, I kind of felt like this was a bit of an inverted head and shoulders pattern. So we had this rejection right where I said we would. Came down. We had a sort of a left shoulder, bit of a head here, sort of a pierce and fail. Came right back up, held this level, and that's kind of why I got back in. Just again, just a bit of an inverted head and shoulders there pattern. So that was that would have been my stop right there, 120 sort of 30 area, and I was looking for this move back to 121 here.
Nicely done. Looks like it's pulling back off of that once again. Couldn't get higher than that, really. We'll see if it can. It looks like it's holding this level and might have that chance, but
yeah. Apple's kind of pulling back here to the VWAP. For people that like to trade bounces off the VWAP, there could be a move there. AMD still looks pretty strong here.
Tesla's still strong.
So I'm looking for another.
I've not traded yet.
Yeah, I'm looking for this 121.50.
On Nvidia, yeah.
On Nvidia, yeah.
Thor. Oh, look at Thor, man. Thor took a good trade on Tesla. Got in at his 259 level. He held all the way until up here. So well done, Thor. Good patience, as always.
Thor is a master at taking trades and hanging on to them.
Yep. Here we go.
Okay,
here we go, Nvidia.
Here we go. We're making a move up here now to PDC on Tesla, or Nvidia, I should say.
Nvidia, yeah.
Oh, Mara. Eamon's looking for... is Eamon looking for a trade on Mara?
Yeah. Mara doesn't look good to me. Does not look good to me.
It's not doing much. Okay, this time Nvidia. See if we break through the PDC level.
Got 20 cents to go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh.
There are a lot of orders up here. When you look at 120, if we get through here, 122, 123, well, obviously I'll let the whole numbers getting positioned there. AMD's gone back red. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just holding green here at the moment. It's stuck on the edge. Now it's red again. So saying, my trading style, this is not my area of expertise, this open stuff. So don't feel bad. I see a lot of our members are posting their trades. Well, at least the winning ones. It's always the winning ones that get posted. Just remember that. Doesn't mean that everybody's winning. People just love to post the winners. You notice very rarely do people post the losers. It's just human nature.
That's true. Human nature.
Keep that in mind, right? If you're out there saying, why is everybody winning except me? I assure you they're not.
We're still struggling to get through PDC on Nvidia.
Oh, people are getting mad at me now. Will and Kyle. I would say if you go through the Will and Kyle, look, I'm not making an absolute statement, but if you go back through all the trades posted, I am very confident that 90% of them or more, 95% of them will all be winners, right? I'm not saying that people don't occasionally post and nobody's trying to no one's trying to fake it. It's just, that's the reality. We all get excited. We just want to post the stuff that, hey, this is a great trade. I want to share it. That's just, I said, human nature. So I'm trying to give some comfort to the people like me that might be sitting and watching and haven't traded anything yet. It's taken me a long time to get comfortable, just sitting and waiting because, I don't read this stuff that well. I don't know why, but I don't. Or if you're having a bad morning, I promise you're not alone. If I do a survey, we'll probably be at the usual where, there'll be a good large percent of you that are also having a bad day. So it's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Just the way it goes. Yeah. What is our averages? You keep track of them. So when you do a poll at the end of the day, what is the typical average?
Well, the overall average, I could tell you, having done the poll 689 times, is that 44% of our traders are green when trading real money, 28% are red, and then in the simulator, about 10% are green and 6% are red over the overall traders that answer. So, and it's pretty close to that most days. I mean, we don't get wild swings off of that. Probably the variability is only about plus or minus, 10%, 12% on the live trading and about 4% on the simulated trading.
So just to show you that people show their losing trades, IG posted a losing trade on Tesla for you. So there you go.
There you go. Thanks, IG.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in there.
It's it's a little early to do a survey. I see people ask for. Well, let's wait. We'll do it a little bit after 10 o'clock. We'll do an early survey and see what the numbers show us.
Some complaints about my microphone. How does in the past year? How is it sounding this morning?
That sounds fine to me, right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it sounds better.
You've always have like a little bit of a room echo, like not an echo, but you know how when it sounds like you're in an emptier room, it always sounds.
Yes.
I don't know if that's just your mic or the room or what, but it's fine.
Cheating.
It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I think it picks up a little bit of background, but we could always work on that. It could be the settings as well we can tweak.
Okay. Sounds good.
Nvidia's really stuck at this level. It's right below 121 again, and not able to push higher yet.
Yeah, same with if we look at the Qs. I mean, we've been trying to break higher, and we're just throwing a bunch of wiki candles here. So we seem to be sort of stuck here at this R3 level, which is 487.40-ish. The SPY has yet to go green, although it did try about 10 minutes into the open. Tesla still seems to have some buying interest. Let's take a look at Tesla. There is a big order at 265, and probably it's right back up at high of day.
PDD is breaking to new high here this morning. Bubba is moving up. Probably not a surprise. We got to remember, right? Chinese market is closed now, but they did close the day on sort of a record up day, 8.5% growth in the overall market, like I mentioned, highest in over 8 years, and their volatility is the highest it's been since 2008. So, yeah, a lot of movement in the Chinese market.
Yeah, they came out with some growth numbers. I have to wonder if they're really accurate.
I think it was more of the stimulus package, not actual growth.
But well, no, I think it was up it was up yesterday because or there Monday, just because there were some economic numbers that came out.
I didn't see those.
There we go. We're getting a drop, and I'm out of the rest of Nvidia on that little bit I had left. We're kind of breaking down here. The Qs tried multiple times to break out, and I think this is kind of the result of a lack of ability to move up here. So we're getting some selling now. We'll see what happens. Tesla tried to break out and couldn't. Peter, these could be all mountain passes for you.
I'm looking at Tesla, and it looks sort of like that, but not good enough. And it is early in the day, so I'm not going to.
Same with AMD, kind of. Same with AMD, kind of a double top there.
Yep. SMCI pushing higher. Keep in mind, SMCI, they've got their 10-for-1 stock split that's happening as of the open tomorrow morning. So, oh, there you go, Mr. T. Thor answered you directly. He did, because he got out of it. He posted his trade. One in, one out.
920 on Nvidia. One and done. All right. Well, I'm sitting here right now, no positions. Couple of trades, a couple of Nvidia trades, one BABA trade that is okay. But now I'm really just looking for something to set up here that might be interesting. The Qs could bounce here. The VWAP and PDC are right here where we are now. So two support levels. Sorry, what did you say?
Just commenting to myself, really.
I thought Brent had said something here. Yeah, we are rolling over. This is kind of interesting.
I guess I can say something. Just let everybody know. at 10:30, Megan will be on, and she's going to talk about the role of volume in market phases. So that should be pretty good.
Nice.
Get your questions ready.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get your questions ready.
All the way live in Japan and then back to North America.
Yeah, who's in Japan?
Megan?
Who's in Japan now?
Brent.
In Japan.
Brent is in Japan. Okay.
Just landed this weekend. How is it so far, Brent? Did you have some real food?
I had McDonald's the first night.
You know, and that's I wasn't going to call you out on that, but since you mentioned it, everybody, be very disappointed in Brent.
No.
He lands in Japan. What's the first meal he has? McDonald's.
You should be. Because McDonald's in Japan is amazing. Had this, what was it called? I forget what it was called, but it was this egg hamburger, bacon egg bun sandwich, and it was delicious.
I don't know. I'm still disappointed.
Yeah, I've had McDonald's in Kyoto, and it was good.
We're getting a drop here on the markets. I'm seeing a lot of stuff dropping right now. Nvidia's pulling back, maybe to VWAP. We'll see if it gets there. Same thing with Tesla. Apple's actually
markets are really pulling back here.
Royale with cheese. No, they do not.
I have to think that Tesla's going to bounce somewhere here. Nvidia's coming down to VWAP as well here. Okay, so I might look at taking a long on Nvidia again. Do a third trade on it as we get down. If we can pierce sort of 120, maybe that could be interesting.
Well, Brent, I hope you're checking the comments in the chat because you're getting a lot of support here about McDonald's. People are saying it's good, safe food. They like eating McDonald's around the world. You know
what?
Just let the boy get his bearings before he jumps in. All right, fair enough.
It's good in Japan, trust me, and also cheap. I know McDonald's in Canada, it was like $20 for a meal. Here, you can get a meal for under $10, or you could get a bunch of stuff for $10. It's pretty great. The food is delicious.
Great.
Gonna pop back up here on Tesla, back to 364.
Okay, I'm long Nvidia at 120. Just see if we can hold the VWAP.
Brian's going for the bounce play.
Yeah, we're seeing if we can get some another bounce off of Nvidia here. Come on. Here we go. You're getting a bounce on the indexes.
Yeah, keep an eye here on things.
I'm kind of wanting to see this thing pop here soon. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get out of it.
Yeah, it did struggle. It didn't pop as quickly as you'd hope, but it's not clear which direction.
I was looking for a nice little pop there, but I'm a little bit concerned here that we're going to lose the VWAP. Okay, I'm out of it. yeah, it doesn't feel like it's getting ready, and the cues are continuing to sort of move lower here. So
Yeah. Strange price action on Microsoft this morning. Did this engulfing candle, like 1 minute engulfing right at the open, spiked up, and now it's back at the lows of the day. Bubba, the fun may be over on some of these Chinese offerings. Again, keep in mind, Chinese markets, Shanghai and Hong Kong, closed for the next 3 days. So they celebrate the founding of the People's Republic of China.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
their version of Independence Day.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah. Big 3-day party. That's I think that's one of the reasons why the market moved so much, just because they'd be closed for, a few days.
Big 3-day party with Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Be careful what you say, Brian.
I know. They do have Chinese police here, sort of incognito.
Mel Grech, you're overestimating the influence I would have on the movement of any offering here. So, but all right, where do you want it to go to, Mel Grech? We'll put in a line for you. You want it up to 113? 112.77. That's very specific. All right. 112.77. That's the target here for Bubba. Let's go, Bubba. You're not done yet. You got some work to do.
Mm-hmm.
One of our members needs you higher. Unalive.
112.77 is a Camarilla pivot level. Remember, we probably are going to get more volatility as they unwind this collar, this JPM collar. I think there are a lot of people that are actually thinking that it's going to have a pretty big influence on the market.
Yeah, I don't know that Bubba's going to. Anyways. I mean, overall, the SPY has largely moved sideways so far this morning. The Qs looked very, sort of bullish initially, but have given it all back pretty much.
Gave it all back.
So
it's interesting. We kind of lost the VWAP a few times on Nvidia, but it's really trying to hold here at this 120 level.
Yep.
It's going to end. The Qs are trying to break down, but every time they do, it seems like some buyers step in. SPY is moving back up.
Yeah, we lost a few people over the weekend. Seeing some death notices. Chris Christopherson, Gabriel's mentioning, died, 88 years old. Died Saturday. And
is that what that was? I saw a bunch of clips on, but I didn't have the sound on, so I was thinking, I didn't know why they kept showing Chris Christopherson. So now I know.
Now you know. And Maggie Smith, Friday or Saturday morning,
she
passed away.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he he had the rare successful singing and acting career. Not a lot of people have made that transition, but he did.
Interesting. Qs are now
I didn't know that.
Qs are now at Friday's, almost at Friday's low, which is kind of getting into an area where we where we spent a lot of time in the pre-market. Everything's kind of dropping again. Interesting.
All right, we're after 10 o'clock. Let's do an early poll. Just let's throw it out there. You guys asked for one. Let's see how everybody's doing. Just tell me how your day's going. Hold on. I'm gonna add in here so far.
I was kind of tempted to short Nvidia just based on this pattern here. You can see here we keep testing the VWAP, and you can see this is a high. This buying pattern was a lower high, kind of came in a little bit lower, and then again more buying, but again a lower high. Sort of is an indication that sellers just keep stepping in earlier and earlier as the price goes back up. So, but I don't know. There's the CVD. There's still a lot of buying in Nvidia. So it's not a lot of enthusiastic selling either. So
no, doesn't look like a strong move. I mean, it could leak downwards, but makes it riskier.
All right. It looks like this XHG is low float du jour. For those that like to play those. Yeah, Will, you're going to try taking along on that. It just came out of a halt. Well, AMD maybe trying to find some support here at 162, sort of 80-ish area. A little bit, and it looks like Nvidia's getting some buying again. Apple's been just on a very slow leak, just ticking lower, lower, lower. Yes, near the Qs. Thor, are you trading NQ? I know NQ is the futures. Are you short? Okay.
Tesla's gone below VWAP, dropping here below.
Tesla really kind of lost it.
Nvidia is holding this 120 though so far, surprisingly.
Yeah. It did drop down there, and it came right back up. Came down pretty close to Friday's low. which was a level you would expect a bounce from. Tesla, you just can't tell, because sometimes it'll do this, it'll do a false breakdown and then it'll come back up. Like it'll break down through the VWAP and then it'll just turn and go back up again. So sometimes you can't trust Tesla.
Most of the results of the poll that we have here. 38% of our members are reporting green so far today, trading live. 27% of you are red while trading live. 11% are green in a simulator. 8 red in a simulator. And 16% just watching this morning. It's a big number. Normally it's only about 10 to 12% who are just watching. So but there you go. It shows you. It's it's not as green out there as it may have felt from some of the trade postings, but congrats to those that have had a good morning, and don't be discouraged to those of you that haven't.
No, definitely not. As pointed out before, every trading day is not a winner, just like my Friday did not ended up red on the day. Not a great way to end the week, but whatever. So getting a nice pop on UVXY, which I'm still in. What did Paris is posting some trades? Baba
good old Paris. Back in the
sun. I found Baba kind of tough. Apple has been nice. I don't know if are you still short Apple, Paris? Because it just you look at that chart, just like a slow leak.
I know. One big pop, basically 2 minutes it popped up and then sold off ever since.
Yeah, Apple is really struggling here.
Wow, look at Paris, momentum master. Yep.
Wow, Tesla's still continuing to sell off. Didn't really see that coming. Nvidia lost that 120 level again.
Oh my goodness, my allergies are killing me today. Whoa.
What is that? It must be mold.
I hope not. Then I got problems in my house. I don't know. A few people mentioned it.
You get all those leaves turning.
It's. I think the late heat here has caused more allergies than normal, because normally it gets cold and everything just drops. But
at zero.
It seems to be worse this year than most normal years. So
mold does live in nature.
Mold lives in nature, so it does.
Okay, so really, I'm kind of taken a little bit surprised how much we've sold off here. I really don't want to chase any shorts down here, but I'm not really seeing any evidence of support yet. On the Qs, maybe if we get to this 484.50 level, which is an area we found support in the pre-market, and coincidentally is S3. I suspect that's where we're going on the Qs.
It's a reasonable guess.
Another dollar drop. Look at this. Nvidia's right back at, or Tesla's right back at it's almost 30 cents away from going red.
Indeed. It's crazy.
And
That's
Nvidia's
good move.
bouncing at PTC, or yesterday, Friday's low. Baba again right at a low of day here.
Well, I feel like I missed a short opportunity on Tesla. I saw it that spike to high of day and didn't risk it. But
I mentioned it to you. I said, could be your mountain pass, double top. Yeah. We both missed that opportunity. And the other nice thing about this chart that I wish I'd have caught was double top and then a lower high right around 10 o'clock.
Right after 10 o'clock there?
It pierced the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart, came back up, but didn't get as high as that double top, which is a really good setup. When you have a stock that's been in an uptrend, double tops, and then an ABC pattern, and it just doesn't even get back to that high. That's usually a good indication that sellers are moving their expectations to a lower price.
There you go. Looks like a couple people took the trade, so good.
Nice.
Good for mentioning it, Brian. I did not.
Good. Awesome.
CCL is just bouncing around here like it typically does. A lot of stuff seems to be getting into a wider range. Nio, CCL, CVS. Even Baba is moving in a wide range here. It's back down to
Baba
the lows.
came down to low of day and now is bouncing. AMD's trying to find a bit of a bottom here. We are still in a downtrend, guys. This is, again, I always like to use the 2-minute chart, 9 and 20 EMA. As long as we're trading below the 9 EMA and it's sloping down, we're definitely still in a downtrend. Sort of mood of the market hasn't changed. Tesla is about to go red on the day. Here we go.
Yeah, just went back red. Yeah,
kind of bummed out that I missed this move here.
Bummed out,
man.
Bummer, man.
That's like the 70s. Flashback from the 70s. Will's trading FU to you.
What'd you say to me?
Peter and the Dude.
Actually,
Brent, when you're in Tokyo, it's too bad they used to have this thing called the Robot Show in Tokyo. I don't think it's open anymore. Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think they still do. I haven't been yet.
But you got to go see that. Have you seen it?
No, last time I was here, I didn't get to see it, but it's on my list.
It's hilarious.
I've heard great things. Yeah, there's so much to do here, so I have a list.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Mario Go-Kart in Japan.
You know what? When I see them, they annoy me because they take up the road in Shibuya, and I just.
These are the carts that you can actually drive on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about those. I heard that they're local drivers hate them because they're just dumb people driving. Anyways.
Tourist. Like me, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, well. Isn't that the role of the world, though? Somebody's making money, somebody's getting angry. Those things tend to go together. So,
I have gone to Tokyo Disney Sea, which is not Disneyland. It's another Disney theme park in Tokyo, and it was crowded, but pretty fun.
well, Japan does love its cartoon characters. Tesla's still moving lower. Nvidia's lower, but it's not that much lower. It's obviously below VWAP and under this 120. But like Brian, you sort of pointed out, there's not a lot of motivated sellers here pushing this down. So unlike AMD, for example, which is at low of day, looking weaker than Nvidia. Tesla, we got a ways to go before we hit low of day, but it's heading that way. See what it does. I do wish I was short Tesla.
Yeah, Baba could be interesting. There I am at the robot show.
He likes his robot show. Oh, there you go.
You can see how big those things are. I thought there was like people in them, but I think they were like dancing, like they were doing the Gundam style moves. It was hilarious.
Can you send me that through our chat?
Yeah. Sure.
There you go. There's Brian. All right. Let's see what we're going to get here. Don't forget, guys, hang on just a couple minutes. We've got Megan, our OG. She is the original girl in the chat room, as I redefine the term.
Yes.
Avi's back in the saddle here, putting some money in the account after his convalescence.
There we go.
No, just the term OG, John. There you go. There's Brian at the robot.
There we go. We got a bounce off S3. I'm guessing Thor covered his position.
You think Thor did that?
Yep. Nice bounce on Nvidia.
Reza, to the question, yeah, Powell is apparently speaking. 1:55 is the official scheduled start. So, again, no idea whether his comments or what they're going to be or whether they'll have market impact, but best be aware of that if you're trading at around 2 o'clock market time. We could see reaction if he says something unexpected. Pretty boring day. What happened with the actually we were supposed to get the Chicago PMI numbers,
the business barometer PMI was coming out at 9:45.
It came
That would
out
be
slightly above forecast, but nothing to write home about, really. Pretty much, pretty close. Half a point higher, so not much.
well. If you were watching that Camarilla pivot, we came pretty close to it on the cues when that drop happened. So getting a bit of a bounce back. And also we're getting above the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart, which is a bit of a break in trend here. So a break in downtrend. Apple bounced back. Apple's kind of broken its downtrend as well. We'll see if we've got enough volume to push us up through the 20 EMA on the 2-minute chart. We did have some big selling volume to get us down to that Camarilla pivot level, and now the buying volume's kind of drying up here, but we'll see what happens.
Nvidia back at 120.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There go
there's
the
my
cues.
10:30
Cues
alarm.
are back. Yeah, cues are back at VWAP. All right. Well, looking forward to hearing from Megan.
National Association of Business Economics, NABI. That's where Powell is speaking in Nashville. Yeah, I was just in Nashville. Joey K, I know you're saying 1 o'clock. I guess the reports I was showing is that I think the event starts at 1. He speaks at 1:55, but that's at least the reporting I saw. But we have our special guest, Brian. We need to hand over the airwaves to the woman with more hair than the two of us combined. The one whose smile will light up a room. It's Megan. Good morning, Megan.
Is Megan?
Oh,
is she
we
here?
Can't hear you. She's here. We just can't hear.
Okay.
Hold on. 1 second.
You can't hear me.
Volume issue. There you are.
I can hear you now.
Now I hear you.
There you are.
Brent had me muted. How dare
Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry.
Good morning.
All right, guys. So let me mute this tab here. Okay, so I'm going to have to do what I did last time. So I won't be able to hear anybody if they start talking to me. So I'm just going to have to communicate with Brent through Telegram. There's something going on with vMix. I don't know if it's just me or not, but it's muted. So hopefully the audio is good. Just double checking before I get started. Is audio okay today? I don't want to have issues like last time. Are we good? All right. No problems. Okay, cool. Good to go. All right. Awesome. So today what we're going to talk about is the role of volume in market phases. So I wanted to bring this up because we discussed this last week in PCT, so in Peak Capital Trading. For those of you that aren't familiar with Peak Capital Trading, it is our sister company. It is a prop firm where we train traders for 13 weeks on how to trade, how to build a trade book. And my part of PCT is the market analysis course. So during that class, we talk about a lot of different things. Last week, we discussed the market phases, and we talked about volume in market phases as well. But I wanted to give a little snippet of something that we talked about last week, which I think is helpful for intraday positions. So when we talk about market phases, a lot of people understand like bullish, bearish markets and things like that. But we're going to get into like some of the intricacies of day trading that can also help you on your smaller day trading positions. So just kind of first things first here. Talking about, what volume is. So volume is, the number of shares or contracts that are traded at any given time. It's really what moves the market, right? So we need volume to move in one direction or the other to get things kind of going. When we have high volume, it really represents the commitment, right? That the move is real, that people are ready and willing to buy and be in a position. And then when we have low volume, it really means that there's not a lot of participation, right? So we don't really want to be involved in something that has low volume, specifically as a day trader, because you're just going to kind of get stuck and sit around a lot. So volume is super important. So obviously hold on to that little piece of information. So volume is really important in your trading. If you're not paying attention to volume, I definitely recommend starting to pay attention to volume. But we have what's also known as the market phases, right? So in the market, we have certain different types of phases. So we have the expansion phase, which is our bull market. So when the market is just running up, there's a lot of increase in buying, a lot of increase in demand, prices keep rising, and we have a thriving market environment. So that's our expansion phase or our bullish phase. Then we've got a distribution phase where the market might pause at the top. We start to see trading activity slow down a bit. We start to see that selling pressure outweighs the see. People always ask, how do I know if I'm in a distribution phase or if I'm in an advancing phase? Or what phase am I in? And this is where volume is really important, because even though activity slows down in a distribution phase, we can actually see the volume shift to the sellers. So we start to get kind of like a piece of information that tells us that the market might actually be starting to change. Now, it doesn't always change the way we think it's going to, but it's our first kind of signal that something's about to happen, which can bring us to a contraction phase, which is then what we refer to as like a bear market, right? So trading volume starts to increase as price declines and we start to move down. And then the last one before we go back to the expansion phase, because this goes back into a circle, is the accumulation phase. So this is where you start to see investors scooping up shares, and you start to see the opposite of a distribution phase. So you start to see kind of these little nuances in the volume that tells you that the buyers are actually stepping in, while the sellers are kind of just they're done with pushing the stock down, right? So this is what we see on a bigger picture. So this is what we see on the overall market, on the SPY, on the Qs, on, stocks, the bigger picture of stocks themselves. But as a day trader, we can use these bigger pictures, right, to understand what phase we're in. But we really want to know what's happening on the intraday stock, right? So we want to know, like, if I'm looking at, let's say, Tesla, how do I know what phase it's in intraday? How do I know if I'm getting to a position where we might actually start to turn, where we might actually be distributing, and this bullish phase that I'm in as a momentum trader might be done? Or if I'm a reversal trader, how do I know that this bullish phase that's happened this morning is actually finished and we might actually start to pull back or reverse for the day? So we actually had a really good example last week when we were doing the market analysis class. And I wanted to share it here because what I did was I marked it up and I took a screenshot and I sent it to the group before the day was finished, right? So this is the screenshot I'm about to give you is something that I shared with them that we discussed during the class, where we could start to see some nuances and some changes in what was happening. So as we were in class that day, where we were sitting in class was right in this area right here. So right where this red circle is sitting. So on that day specifically, Nvidia was super strong, right? So it had this really strong push in the morning. And we've got really strong volume really confirming this. So when we talk about an expansion phase, we want the volume to be confirming the push. And this is where, as like a reversal trader, you don't want to be, right? So if you've ever taken like stabs at a trade and trying to just reverse the stock and you just keep getting stopped out and it just keeps pushing, this is usually the phase that most traders are trying to reverse in. I mean, how many of you guys have tried to reverse a stock that just like will not go down and it's just going up and you're like just getting hit out. And as someone who's been trading for a while, this has happened to me millions of times, especially in the beginning of my trading career. Couldn't figure out why something just kept going. But once we start to get to a position where we're in a distribution phase on an intraday chart, we can actually start to see and get signals of when things might start changing. Now, I've obviously have a lot of notes here, but just to kind of give you the cliff notes is that when we were in class, we were sitting right here. And what I said to the group was what I'm starting to see on the volume, and this is the key, right? So this is what we're talking about today, the role of volume in market phases. We can actually start to see on a bar by bar analysis basis, if I look at each one of these bars individually, along with the volume that's happening down here, what I can see is any candle where the bears won the candle, meaning that it closed lower than it opened, the volume is actually higher. In any candle where the bulls won the candle, meaning that it closed higher than where it opened, the volume is actually lower. So what I can see happening as this range is forming is that we actually have more selling pressure than we have buying pressure. So the bulls are not as excited here. There's not as much buying activity happening here. Now, if this was going to be an expansion phase with a pause and a continuation, you would see the opposite of this. You would see more buying pressure in the accumulation that would be happening up here before the next move up. But what we can see is the volume is starting to shift. So as someone who wants to maybe be bullish in Nvidia, what I need to wait for is it to come back to an accumulation phase. So what's happening in here is I don't want to be long. And as a reversal trader, this is my chance to maybe get into a reversal, right? So this is what we saw that day. And then of course it pulls back. It moves to a demand area, which if you've taken or if you've attended my supply and demand webinar, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. It moves into this area, and what we see is the opposite of what we started to see here, right? So looking over here, we can start to see that even though the volume is really low, which is common in an accumulation or a distribution phase, we can actually see on a bar by bar analysis basis that any time that the bulls step in to buy into this position, it's a little bit elevated compared to the selling. Now, I said right here, this is the potential start of accumulation phase, right? So I sent this out to the team before the end of the day. And what I want you to take note of is that this was the end of the day. So there wasn't a lot of time for the stock to do what it was trying to do. But the next day, we gapped up. So this is the open the following day. So here's the day that we just looked at: expansion, distribution, contraction, accumulation, right? So this is where we start to know that the volume is starting to shift again. And we push up in the after hours, and then we gap up in the morning. So although this didn't happen like all of it on the same day, because, as day traders, we're kind of in a time constricted basis here, we can at least see what the stock is trying to do at any given moment to know whether or not it's time to start getting into a position, or whether or not we should be waiting to get into the position, right? Because until we start to see the volume shift, there's no point in getting in. We're not in a new phase yet. So that's really important to take note of. The volume will guide you to let you know what kind of phase you're in, and when the pullback is over or when the new expansion is about to begin. Trader 101, these are 5-minute candles on the screen. So these are both 5-minute charts that I'm showing you right here. So keep that in mind as you kind of go throughout your day, as you're looking at different positions and different stocks, is that, you really want to see the volume shift for you. And you really want to let it guide you. It really is a guide. So if you can just slow down enough to say, all right, what is the volume trying to say? And especially when something is like, selling off, if you still see selling coming into that position, just wait until it gets to an accumulation, right? Let that bar by bar analysis flip and let the buyer start to come into this. And then, as swing traders, even this can be really helpful. So as day traders, it's helpful on the intraday, but even as a swing trader, like had you towards the close saw that the volume was starting to shift again on Nvidia, you could get into a position and then, we gapped up, what is that, like $4, $5, something like that. So as a swing trader, that could be something to take note of. I can definitely bring up the previous chart, no problem. Let's go. There we go. So you guys can take a screenshot of that if you want. And this is just kind of like a little breakdown. And again, like we see this on the bigger picture. So we talk about market phases, in usually a bigger time frame, but there are smaller time frames for market phases as well. And we can use those as intraday traders to really understand, when is it a good time to get into a position? And I guarantee you, if you can start focusing on this and, just looking at some charts, marking them up, and just getting used to the flow of volume in different phases, that it will help keep you out of this. Because I see it happen all the time that something is moving like this, and a lot of reversal traders are trying to reverse it, right? I mean, especially if you've got a strategy that is, support and resistance strategy, where let's say this gets to a level, like for instance, and before they cue the music here on me to get off stage, let's say that you had a resistance level right here. As a support and resistance trader, you might be thinking, all right, I'm just going to short it when it gets here, right? Because it's at my resistance point. And this goes for people who trade pivots. This goes for anybody that's just drawing, levels on their chart. But understanding what phase is happening as it's leading into that level can help protect you in the situation and not get you into these trades that just like you just keep getting stopped out on, and it's just not working. All right, so any questions? Let's go to some questions. Will the slides be loaded in files? No, this will not be loaded. This is just for the pre-market show, but you are welcome to take a screenshot of this for you. Also, I am working on a course right now. So for those of you that attended the supply and demand webinar, that's part of the course. This will also be in the course. So you will have that eventually if you're interested in it. All right, any other questions? No, nobody. All right, so either I lost all of you on this, or I covered it all and you have nothing that you want to ask me questions on. Cool, thanks, Old Testament. I appreciate that. Yeah, cool. Glad you enjoyed it, guys. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I can show the phase chart here. You guys can take a screenshot of that if you like. For your entries intraday, how do you read the volume as it's unfolding live? Yeah, so it is in a bar by bar analysis basis. So typically what I'm looking for, I will go ahead and you guys can take a screenshot of this, and then I'll go back to a chart with bars on it. So I'm going to go back to the candles. No, it doesn't only work on a 5-minute chart. No, this also works on a 1-minute chart. It's just sometimes it's a little bit easier to see on a 5-minute chart, just because you've got a little bit more time. Things have like developed a little bit more, because if you're on a 1-minute chart, sometimes those moves that start to come in don't last quite as long, right? So you might get a lot of selling pressure, but because of the 5-minute chart hasn't really turned into a new phase, you might just end up in shorter moves, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as you know, intraday traders, there's lots of different types of positions you can put on. And so as a scalp trader, the 1-minute chart can be good for that, for sure. But so your question here for entries intraday, how do you read the volume as it's unfolding live? So as it's unfolding live, so there is a combination between kind of like reading the tape and also the volume at the same time. But when you're watching it live, one thing that I like to look for is what I call like bearish or bullish volume sandwiches. So what I mean by that is when something is starting to flip, what you start to see is kind of like a nice little sandwich that starts to happen on the volume right here. So as you're watching it unfold live, let's say on like on a 1-minute chart, as you start to see even just kind of this first sandwich, I would say, start to appear. For anybody that's attended any of my classes, everything like is referred back to food. So I was a chef for over 10 years. So you're always going to hear me use food as an analogy. So there's a nice little sandwich down here. I don't know, there's some lettuce in the middle and some type of rye bread on the outside here. And this is basically telling you that volume might be starting to shift. So this is kind of your first signal, because you've got that lower buying volume in between two levels of higher selling volume, right? So that's what we're looking at here, and that's kind of how you can read it in real time as it's starting to shift. If you go to my Twitter or X or whatever it's called these days, which is Marlowe at Marlowe Trades, and I'll type it here for those of you that don't follow me. There's actually an example of this. That's my X for anybody that's interested. There's an actually example of this that I actually posted, I think on Friday, of a mentee who I mentor sent me their trade, and I went through it. And one of the things that I noted on volume, so the post is about price action and reading time and sales and stuff like that. But one thing that I noted on volume was when it flipped. And if you go to that post and you look at it, you can see what I'm talking about, where you start to see the change in volume in real time. So I think the timestamp I've noted was exactly like 9:57, and then 10 o'clock, you get a second confirmation. So check that out, because that'll kind of give you like real time. All right. So what else we got here? I see your message, Brent. Can I please comment on volume spikes before reversals? Yeah, so volume spikes before reversals, one thing about that is that's what we consider an anomaly. So typically, if you get a really strong spike in volume on maybe like a really small candle, even on a wide candle with like a long wick or something on it, is typically like the last kind of push before the move starts to turn. But what I still want to see, because sometimes those can actually fake you out, what I still want to see is like a few more candles of like flipping price action, right? So if you get a really strong candle and you're looking for price to reverse, make sure that the candles after that really confirm it. So make sure the pullback is on low volume when it tries to retrace that candle. And make sure as it starts pushing in the direction that you think it's going, that the volume confirms that. Not one, it's not always one individual candle that, tells the story. It's multiple candles that like write the book, right? They write the novel, they write the story. So you also need to see what happens afterwards. Climactic exhaustion volume. Yeah, that it is a thing, but what you'll notice is a lot of times that climactic or exhaustion volume can happen, and then the stock can actually trickle up a little bit more or trickle down a little bit more. So you have to wait for that volume to really start to show you a little bit more of a story. So keep that in mind. It's super important. Amos, awesome. I'm glad you're signed up for PCT. Excellent. Very exciting. Okay, so I probably am going to get kicked off stage here. Brent, should I wrap up? Should I do the wrap here? You want me to answer some more questions, or should I wrap? I'm going to let you chat and let you type in the chat because I can't hear anything. Okay, he's told me to wrap it up. He's cueing the music. So if you guys want to know more about this kind of stuff and this is interesting to you, I'm on the microphone in the BBT chat room multiple times throughout the week. You can join as a member. There are courses and classes that we also have. So my supply and demand webinar, that's similar to kind of some of the stuff that I'm talking about here, is available in the Education Center. You have access to that as a member. And then we do have courses on Trading Terminal. Mine should be there hopefully by the end of the year. Mike has asked me when I'm going to have it, and I told him end of the year, so I'm working on it. But if you have any more questions about this, you can find me in the chat room. I'm actually in the chat room today at 12 p.m. Eastern. So for those of you that are on YouTube that aren't members yet, you can catch me again today in another hour and 10 minutes. So thanks for all the questions, guys. Awesome for joining. Thank you for having me, and I'll chat with you guys later.